Welcome all to the next session of Ṛgveda. Let us start with a short prayer. Om Dhyayamo Dhavalavagundanavatim Tejomayim Naishthigim Snigdhapangavilokinim Bhagavatim Mandasmida Shrimukhim Amritavashinim Sumadhurtana Sham Siddhasu Danandat Anushaya. Let us welcome.
Today we have the fifth, that is focusing on the Devatas, that is the Ṛgvedic Devatas. So, after 5 sessions that we have gone through, if I recap, it's the introduction, some summary of the Ṛgvedic chronology, and the Ṛgvedic kings, Ṛgvedic poets, and now we are on the Ṛgvedic Devatas. 5 classes. We are actually focusing on the generic aspect of Ṛgveda. Not yet started in Vedic geography. 75% of our session, our course is about Ṛgvedic. These 5 chapters forms the foundation, and these 5 chapters also gives a very good introduction to the general chapters. Enough information about Veda, which is higher than understanding of Ṛgveda. So, from just the name Ṛgveda, we have gone to the structural of Ṛgveda, like the 10 mandalas, different properties, peculiarities of each mandala, which are the oldest, which are the middle, which are the youngest. All these things, these are all like beyond a layman understanding. So we have gone to a level higher than a layman understanding of the Ṛgveda. And similarly, we have understanding about the kings, Ṛgvedic kings, and the Ṛgvedic composers. So this session, which is primarily on the Ṛgvedic Devatas, will complete the foundation or the introductory or the basic aspects of the Ṛgveda. So the kings, the or the rishis, as well as the Devatas, form the entire subject matter of Ṛgveda. And this up to this chapter 5 or the session 5, it is foundation for any kind of studies into the Ṛgveda, not only geography, but there are a lot of Ṛgvedic studies focusing on the Ṛgvedic culture. Then some other people focus on the structures, the vehicles in Ṛgveda, like Ratha, different kinds of parts of Ratha. Everything is people focus on those. Some others focus on the structures, constructions, etc. mentioned in Ṛgveda. So to the Ṛgveda, for every geography, but chronology or any other studies of Ṛgveda, this is the foundation. So today we will focus on the Ṛgvedic Devatas, and this is the primary subject of Ṛgveda. Like Ṛgveda is a collection of suktas, which are actually focusing on praising the Ṛgvedic Devatas. So this is the primary subject. Any traditional understanding of Ṛgveda is basically that Ṛgveda, like focusing on the Ṛgvedic Devatas. Everything is centered around the Ṛgvedic Devatas. So today I'm just because there are a lot of Ṛgvedic Devatas, I'm focusing on the table that anyway, anybody who has focused on the book, they'll have it. So same I am focusing currently. I'm focusing on it. So just I'm sharing it. I hope you are able to see it. So this is the table which is created by analyzing all the references of the Devatas in the Ṛgveda. So if you look at the list, it will be having around 89 89 devatas. Some of them are gods and some of them are goddesses, like that. So they are devas and devis, and there are groups of devatas. So I will be focusing on all of them. And this is this number you are seeing here. This is the popularity index. So it is not exactly like the number of times each devata is mentioned, but it is the number of times certain nouns are repeating. For example, Indra is mentioned in different names, like Maghava, or so many other names are there for Indra. So this particular here you can see the name Indra is there again, that it is mentioned 3,129 times. Indra is repeated in the Ṛgveda, but it is not the total number of times Indra is referred to, because Indra can be referred in other synonyms of Indra. So many synonyms are there for Indra. But it gives a kind of understanding like which devata is most popular in Ṛgveda. So more or less, for example, the other references of Indra, where he is referred in different other names, etc., will be like not as big as this. But overall, you can see Indra is mentioned as the last devata, like the devata of Ṛgveda. If you read Vishnu Purana, this will be the primary devata of Vishnu Purana. Bhagavata, or any Vaishnava Puranas, devata, or any Shiva Purana, it will having high importance to Shiva, and Shiva will be repeated the maximum number of times. So something similar to that in the Ṛgveda, Indra is the most prominent devata. So that is why you get this kind of number. And after that, after Indra, who is the most discussed devata, that is Agni. So Indra and Agni, you see the differences. You can see 3,000, more than 3,000 times Indra is referred, Agni is referred more than 3,000, 2,000 times. A little more than that. So that is Indra and Agni are the dominant devatas of the Ṛgveda. And another important factor, even though Indra is the next dominant devata in the Ṛgveda, Agni is considered as the devata who is pratyaksha, who can be present in front of us. So Agni has an importance in that manner. So Agni is a pratyaksha devata, and any kind of interaction with the devatas mostly take place through Agni. So that is why the Ṛgveda, the beginning, the first sutta, first Agni Mile Purohitam. So that is how the Ṛgveda is starting. So that is because Agni is kind of towards the realm of the devatas, and that is a basic philosophy or basic fundamental of the Ṛgvedic or the Vedic civilization or the Vedic culture or Vedic religion, that anything that you submit to the devatas goes through Agni. So that is why we submit the havis or all the offerings for the devatas into Agni. And Agni is considered as a Vahaka, or the kind of the conductor, or the devata who takes the human offerings and take it to the devatas. That is why Agni has a kind of very important prominence. And even though Indra is mentioned as the most dominant devata. So these are the two primary devatas. Anybody, it's a kind of no dispute about it among the traditional scholars or among the Western scholars. Everybody agrees on these aspects. And very interestingly, for example, in the Ṛgveda, mostly it is it's a collection of suttas, right? 1028 suttas. And the suttas doesn't have any kind of a narrative continuity, or it starts from something which the Ṛgvedic composers in those periods, they understood very well. But after so many years, like around For example, the early Ṛgveda is 3300 BC. So for around after 5000 years, currently when we read it, that includes Sayana as well, who is considered as a kind of a guide for us for understanding the Ṛgveda. Even for Shayana, those suttas may not make perfect sense because some of the information that is well known in the ancient period when the rishis composed it, we don't know that context. Because of which the Ṛgvedic suttas, when it starts, and it talks about something, we will not have any clue what the sutta is talking about. But there are certain exceptions. For example, there is a big narrative about Indra. It's a kind of a narrative which is similar to the kind of narratives you find in Itihasas and Puranas. It is because there is a very good narrative flow in that, wherein Indra is mentioned as born from his mother. And many people may not be knowing it. The Puranas mentioned, unambiguously mention Indra as a son of Aditi, etc. But that kind of clarity, there is no direct statement in Ṛgveda that Indra is son of Aditi. So that is like a later the Puranic Aitihasic understanding. But in the Ṛgveda, Indra is mentioned as the child of an unknown mother. And of course, people can have try to make a connection that unknown mother is Aditi, etc. But Ṛgveda doesn't make any kind of direct statement like that. But it does make some kind of statements or some kind of inferences we can gather that there is a kind of a father-son relationship between Indra and Twashtar. Twashtar is another devata who is related to this can say architecture or the person or the devata who is creating things. So here the Twashtar is here as in the 23rd rank. He is mentioned around 87 times, etc. So Twashtar basically what it means is that he is mentioned as an architect, and here again we have a kind of a connection with the Sindhu Saraswati civilization, because Sindhu Saraswati civilization is all about architecture. It's very famous for its architecture, the city constructions, even the different materials or items that's crafted in the Sindhu Saraswati civilization, like well crafted vessels, plates, and so many things which are very when even compared to the later period, like the painted graveware period or the ore-colored pottery that succeeded the Indus Valley civilization. This particular little more amazing, and it was little more advanced. That ideally slightly in the, they had a better paved roads, defined cities, well-planned cities, and I would say much some of the cities, Indus Valley cities, are more planned than today's Indian cities. So that much advancement was there. And here we have a kind of devata, that is Twashtar, who is representing the architecture. And mostly the Western scholars try to close their eyes on these kind of connections, because they basically want to say that the Ṛgvedic people are not having any kind of sophistication in terms of city life or city building or any kind of material culture. They were just nomads, hunter-gatherer. I mean, they are just nomadic people who have moved from one place to another, hunter-gatherers or people who have some cattle, and wherever cattle go, they go behind them. So that is the kind of understanding that the Aryan innovation theory based ideologies think about the Ṛgvedic people. But Tvashtar is somebody the with so Tvashtar he's actually a kind of ancient architect or a bit, different kinds of items like vessels, even chariots. So Tvashtar is mentioned about creating various kinds of utensils or vehicles, etc. So that is Tvashtar. And in the Ṛgveda, this particular passage about Indra, very clear. For example, in the Mahabharata, there is a mention of Nahusha, who is a kind of descendant of Pururavas. Ila and Pururavas and Ayush. So Ayush's son is Nahusha. So because of at that time he was the best king. Like Nahusha is installed as Indra. He is given the title Indra. Now that doesn't stop at that. Later there is another king called Shibi, who is there is a kingdom called Shibi kingdom, which is along the Sindhu river, now in Pakistan. So the Shibi king also is given the title of Indra. So in the title of Indra or Indra become a title which is given to kings in subsequent stages in the later Vedic period. But the most earliest Indra seems to be a kind of son of Tvashtar. And this Indra is a subject of the Ṛgveda, and that is the Indra that we are talking about. And he was a son of Tvashtar and also the greatest god in the Ṛgveda. So that is the connection. And the little narrative I was talking about, it says that that is Indra's mother, who is actually a wife of Tvashtar, and is when Indra was born, he was very thirsty, and what this Indra's mother did is she helped them to steal some soma from the Tvashtar house, etc. And then Indra is also connected, Indra is bathing in some rivers, and the rivers, there is a kind of poetic narrative where the rivers talk about Indra, and it's a very kind of I can say very much aitihasic narrative about Indra and how Indra grows as a great king, a great god, king of gods, where other gods initially the other gods were not very much not very much impressed with Indra, right? So Indra was not very much a famous person or anything. And later, because of his own power, he grew and he became the king of the gods. And in the early days, there is a very interesting narrative where they say the only god who helped Indra is Vishnu. And this is how the association of Indra and Vishnu is coming. And for example, that is why in the later Puranic period, whenever there is any problem comes, Indra goes to Vishnu and Vishnu helps Indra, etc. That happens because of the ancient Ṛgvedic connection where it is mentioned like that. And there is another important in the Ṛgveda. Vishnu is mostly, if you can see, Vishnu is a not a very extremely popular Devata, etc. in the Ṛgveda. See, it's 19th. He's in the 19th position here, with around 135 references to Vishnu. There is Vibhu is also another way Vishnu is referred, etc. So here, but the very important aspect of Vishnu is while Indra was fighting Vritra, Vishnu was the person who supported him, and it is also there in the etymology as well. So Vritra, the term, it means constrictor. That is, it constricts or it you can say it's reduce the freedom. So Vritra represents the constriction or the reduction of freedom, etc. So for example, Vritra is in the Veda itself, Vritra is mentioned as a snake for example. So snakes also constrict. And Vritra is also mentioned as a frost in the river. So basically, that is what the poets are representing Vritra, like some of the rivers that is coming that is flowing in Kashmir, like Vitasta, that is the Jalam River, or this Asikni, or Chandrabhaga, that is the Chenab River, and then Parishni, that is later on Iravati River, that is now known as Ravi River, and then Satluj Bias, that is Shatadru and Vipasha. All these rivers, they originating from Jammu Kashmir and Himachal Pradesh. They are originating from the Himalayan snow. So some of the times in the winter season, it will froze, like the ice inside the river melt and it becomes frost. And when it becomes frost, then river doesn't flow, and then the people dependent upon the rivers, they struggle for water, like who are in the Indo-Gangetic plain, which is who are depending upon the water, struggle for the water from the river, but it's not there, and it is not like directly opposite to a hot climate. There's a very cold climate, but there is no water. So that is where the Indra is considered as a positive force, and Indra is mentioned as breaking that ice and letting the river flow. So that is why Indra is also considered as the lord of the seven rivers, and he is also considered a slayer of Vritra. That is, Indra's power helps to reduce break the ice in the Himalayan rivers, snow-filled rivers of the Himalayas, and make it flow. This is all very nicely captured in various suttas in the Rig Veda. And in this particular role, in this particular conflict between Indra and Vritra, Vishnu is mentioned as the person who creates the space. So it itself means expansion. Vish means expansion, etc. So Vishnu plays the direct opposite role of Vritra. So it is the expansive power of Vishnu that helps Indra to break the ice, and that is break the Vritra. Like that. So that entire natural cycle or natural phenomena is completely represented in the as Indra, Vritra, and Vishnu, like that. So that is about these three devatas, and then the Maruts. So they are the Maruts are basically not a single word; they are a collection of gods. In the Rig Veda, it's not very clearly mentioned there are 7 Maruts, but in the later, even including the later Vedic literature, as well as Itihasa Puranas, they mention 7 Sapta Maruts, etc. And they are also mentioned as Rudriya. So they are mentioned as children of Rudra. Rudra is again, the Ṛgvedic Rudra is mentioned in the Puranas as Mahadeva, Shiva, Shambhu, Shankara, like that. So the Maruts are mentioned as children of Rudra on a kind of a cow named Krishni. So that is why the Maruts are also called Rudriya. And this is also the reason why, because Maruts are there, but a collection of devatas, the Rudras, there is no mentioned in Rig Veda. But the 7 Maruts themselves could also be the part of the 11 Rudras, the later subsequent 11 Rudras, because in the Rig Veda they are mentioned as Rudriyas. And the Maruts, always, they are the companions of Indra. So wherever Indra goes, he has got a group of youthful Maruts following him. So that is how the relationship between Indra and the Maruts. And then you have because the main one of the another aspect apart from Agni, who is considered as the both as a Pratyaksha Devata and also as a most important part of worship. We have Soma as another. Soma is again, it is a stimulant kind of a plant extract that the Devatas and also the Indra worshipping Bharatas and all of the people, they consume this Soma actually, but because of Soma, this is the are and it is so Soma is Devata. Soma is mentioned the Soma the mandala. So Soma. Rapsa, that is that is these are Soma. And it is like the Rigveda, there is no there any connection. Very soon that coming up. Because literature, some kind of Vedic people inferred that Soma is the consequence of the light of moon. Right. No, by the Soma that considered it that relationship as is less in the Soma and in the early Ṛgvedic or middle Ṛgvedic period, that kind of a connection was not there. And but slowly that transformed. So these kind of transformations are natural in a very civilization which is very, very long. For example, Indra in the Ṛgveda, Indra is mentioned as traveling in a chariot driven by horses, the Hari called Hari, that is tawny colored horses, not white horses, tawny colored horses. Hari means brown or orange, brown, etc. That kind of color. The brown horses, or the color of lions and monkeys. So it's a slightly orangish, yellowish kind of color. That's called Hari, Hari color. So Hari, so this horses of Indra is called Hari, and Indra is where the horse discovered and it becomes Indra in. There is an elephant Airavat. This is all Vedic period. It was that is how you were in Pakistan flowing. So that mentioned as so name of that is that they around Airavata is a derivative of Iravati. The Iravati river is the region of Airavata of a region. There was that region, mostly the found in the that is Uttar Pradesh, Vedic Uttar Pradesh, mostly. So in that forest, very rarely were there in the Iravati river. Those elephants are called actually the derivative of so like that.